Hello, everyone. We have a special guest who's been with Restore Haiti for many, many years.
Make me feel old.
Yeah, so we're just going to have a quick discussion about some of the stories from the early years that we have and how Theresa joined us, and kind of talk about even her next steps. As some of you heard, she's she is transitioning out of the executive director role, but obviously she'll still be around and has a lot of knowledge and helpful and that kind of stuff. So, so we're celebrating our 15th year of Restore Haiti, and I took a trip in December 2005, and then in the spring of 2007, I started getting a call and emails from this girl who worked with the youth group at New River. With a lot of questions, in which I've had two random group of friends, mind you, go to Haiti. So I think she was expecting, she was in the corporate world, I think you were expecting this was a real well-oiled mission trip when she was asking, how do we do t-shirts, how do we do the money, how do we this, and I had no idea. And that person was Theresa Swain from New York, but we were at the same church. We hadn't met yet, right?
No, I think that was basically how we met.
Yeah. So you were serving the youth group, and you were.
Yep.
But the plan was just to help get this team out the door.
Yeah, I was definitely like the administrative arm of the youth ministry, so just organizing things, setting things up, and the youth pastor was like, okay, we need to figure out the details of this mission trip. And I had done missions here in the U.S. I hadn't gone overseas, so my administrative mind just kind of started going on overload, and I'm sure the steam was coming out of my ears, trying to work on the little gerbils up there, trying to figure out what we needed to do. And so, I'm sure I came at you with a ton of questions and details that we needed.
Yeah, before we go on, we just have to talk about Todd, who was awesome.
Yeah.
And just was a champion for us from New River. I mean, this wasn't even really going to be much of anything, and I remember after that trip, him and his wife Cassie had us over, and just, what are you planning, what do you think you could do? And so Todd is with the Lord now, but has made a stamp on many of our lives and in the lives of Haiti, whether they remember him or not.
Yeah, and I wouldn't have even gone on that trip if it wasn't for him, because he forced me to go. Yeah. He was like, you're a youth leader, you need to be a part of this team. And
did you have a good time on the trip?
No. I did, in the sense of, I made a lot of friends. We became friends because of that trip, and met some other people, and the bonding and all of that kind of stuff, and, the fun times, the funny things that happen on missions. But I am not cut out for non-Americanness. Like, I am just very, comfortable here in the USA.
Theresa and I are definitely from the same department of the food portion when God puts together people in Haiti. Yeah. And so we definitely walk into the food, the kitchen, praying there will be white rice.
Yes.
Every
meal. For the white rice. Every meal. Yeah.
But we are not an onion.
No.
Don't do onions.
No onions, no peppers, no spices of any kind. They had white rice, and then sometimes they would make like hot dogs and little homemade French fries.
Those were good.
Those were good. Those were my days.
Yeah, the early days were rough. Like the facilities weren't where they were. No bathrooms. And so once you left the hotel, you were out for the day. Yeah. And so it was tough. And
I, just as a side note, you can cut this out, but I have never used the restroom outside of the hotel in Haiti, except for at the airport. But that's the kind of American I am.
Yeah, right. So, but you came back and had a little passion of wanting to help. So, we've told people many times you started the feeding or the sponsorship program. So why? How did that happen?
So there was a little bit of a framework. When we were there was another lady there that was, trying to take pictures of kids and get them organized so that there could be some sort of a way to help them. They were all just kind of running around, no schooling, because no one could afford it, eating when they could. And so there was definitely a desire of a few people on that team to how can we help, even just one or two of these kids individually. And so I just saw an opportunity to bring organization to that, because that's, one of my giftings. And I knew I could do that from home without being in Haiti. So I felt like God was, took me there to show me something that, could use some back end, building to it, that I could do when I got back home, and that I could champion and help grow, from here at my house.
And we did that, and Theresa and I had a lot of fun. I remember there were times we would have meetings, we would hit O'Charlie's, we would gather people, and then her and I would work. I remember we went to the movies once, and Theresa brought the laptop.
Yeah.
And we just worked there.
Late night movies, because there's nobody there. We take over the back of the movie theater, and
yeah, how I couldn't go to a movie that starts past 8.
No, and there was some movies that I think we went to multiple times. We're like, oh, we know that movie, so we can work and watch, and not feel like we're missing it. So.
Yeah, so I'm always grateful. I say the early years and even today, because the people we work with now, Kaylee and Julie and Fedany, and it's a lot of fun. And so the early years were fun. I mean, we were helping people, which was incredible, and the story's incredible. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. So
yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Yeah. So in 2012, we transitioned you into executive director.
We started talking about it in 2012, and then June of 2013 was like my go live full time date.
Yeah.
With
So
Restore Haiti.
there was 2 major groups in the Nashville area. One was Conduit, which was a Bible study I was involved in when I first moved here in 2002, and then New River Fellowship, which Ruth and Rufus Howe, we've discussed before our meeting at their house when we got flooded.
Yeah.
Because of the flood, not their house. And that was a launching part. And then 2012-13 is when you
Transitioned to being full time
executive director. And then coming the end of this year, 2020, Theresa will full time be working in another industry, so she will not be the person to talk to about Restore Haiti questions. But we have good hands with Julie and Kaylee and myself, so please hit us up. So anything else you'd like to share about your time with Restore Haiti? And
no, it's just been one of the best adventures that I've ever been on. Like I said, totally unexpected. Just not something I would have ever seen myself doing. But I think when God brings an opportunity in front of you, and you can just step into it, and you can do it, and you can have fun with it. It just grows into something that He has that you didn't even imagine. And I feel like that's where we've gotten to today. And, I've told people before, my time with Restore Haiti was to help kind of set a framework and get it going. And now that it's grown so much, it's just ready for that next level, that next person. It's not the basic thing that we started anymore. And so it's really a good thing and an exciting thing that I just can't wait to see what God does with it.
Yeah. So we're obviously sad to see her go, but with all of that, we are very grateful and appreciate all that Theresa's done for it. I know I am personally, just the laughs, the fun, and the learning of how 20-something-year-olds figure out how to start a nonprofit. And learn. And if we would have known what we knew, we wouldn't have started it. It's a lot of paperwork. But it's here, and it's here to stay. And thank you, Theresa.
No, I'm so grateful for the opportunity. So it's been a blessing.
Okay. Good.